I'll hate it. I'll make sure that I'm able to correct. I want to recover my cognitive ability. I want to be able to just kind of solve my thoughts for that. I was hoping that you'd be able to help me understand them. I don't know. I'm getting distracted again. I'm losing my focus. I'm losing my concentration. Everything's been inhibited. That's what I was going to talk about. How I don't really feel like a person. How I'm not able to love the things that I'm supposed to love. I'm not able to hate the things that I'm supposed to hate. I've lost my convictions. I've lost my memories. I've just been kind of like oppressed over and over and over and over and over. Nobody seems to get it. I've just become stifled and diminished, and I don't know how to even fucking live anymore, or like or feel safe anywhere, really. And there's so much. I want to be more specific. I always get stuck in vague and general abstract, not abstract in some kind of cool elucidating way, but abstract in this kind of tenebrous, obfuscating way. Um, that in order to prevent myself from experiencing that emotions, maybe like I'm just kind of stuck in association, because I kind of force myself to do it. I force myself to dissociate from everything, remove all associations from everything, because, well, I think a lot of it was automatic, but there were periods where I was able to justify this, or I even encouraged it. It felt like it was encouragement, but I'm not sure if this encouragement was done in order to justify some sort of like emotional propensity to this behavior, or if the propensity was actually potentiated by this reasoning. But the reasoning was that I wanted to remove myself from all the dogma effectively, and develop the most general possible interpretation of everything, and remove all like erroneous socially enforced connections, to sever all connections in my head, so everything was being interpreted as it was, without dogma, or without dogma, kind of an extraneous details that aren't necessary to its essence being attributed to it, being attributed to whatever I was experiencing. And this involved like the dissolution of my senses, even, because the senses I thought were dogmatic, that the visual reconstruction of objects mentally was dogmatic, and there were more general ways to express objects than visualization or other forms of mental resonance. Uh, but I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think it's bad. I have a fear that because I was in a very suggestible state of consciousness, that I actually did this to myself, that I've traumatized myself into kind of instituting these changes mentally, of not thinking or feeling or remembering or imagining or creating, sort of like I was training myself to do it. And this was when I was under the influence of THC and LSD. And I'm worried that it's had a permanent effect, but it's all because it seems to have had an enduring effect. There are a couple other explanations besides that. I like fundamentally alter the nature of my brain on a like a complex level that isn't just like base physiology. That one, this has only rendered me more aware of changes that were already kind of occurring. Or two, I saw like a lot of things during the experience that kind of put me in a state of dissociation, and then the symptoms that I experience are just kind of like dissociation out of like terror of what I witnessed, and it's not dissociation as a result of some like axiomatic change that I applied to my brain, but rather just kind of like the benign, innocuous commitment of an ordinary traumatic experience that resulted in dissociation, and that the nature of the experience is irrelevant, and it's simply due to the terror attendant to the experience that I dissociate, and not because of the content of the experience, the content being that I was fundamentally altering my brain. If that makes sense. Um, yes. Yes, and I'm not sure if I'm going to send this. I realize that I don't really have any meaningful connections at all, or like friends really, or people that I feel safe with or comfortable with. And I understand this is probably really alarming and weird and bizarre, and this is almost cringe. That this is going to induce cringe. When I review this again, I'll probably cringe because I've been conditioned to cringe about this sort of thing, about the profession of needs, I guess, and in introspection. Because this is more honest than most of my introspection. A lot of my introspection is very detached and kind of meanders around the main thing, whatever the main thing is, and I still don't know what the main thing is, but I feel like I'm kind of, I don't know, at least beginning to allow myself to orient my peripheral vision such that it overlaps with the reflection of just some superficial impression of the main thing, and ordinarily I'm not able to do that because it may not sound like I'm saying a lot of things that are terribly specific or personal, and what I'm saying is still very general, and it can be said of many I don't know, many people, not truthfully, but it's like there isn't a lot. Oh, there aren't a lot of like dogmatic details. That I guess by dogmatic, in this case, I mean particular details that pertain to me specifically in a way that is superficially evident to outside observers. Sort of. Anyway, I feel more comfortable introspecting in your presence for some reason. And it's I don't think I'm able to do that with very many other people. I don't know, but I don't really. I think I don't know. There's something terribly wrong with me. And this is. I think this is just going to startle you. And I think again it's just probably going to make you cringe and feel like really just like odd and uncomfortable and unsafe, I imagine. And maybe regretful. I don't know. And maybe confused. I don't know. I think I need to back up. Like, maybe I shouldn't address you. Maybe I should. I don't know. Well, because I'm not really able to remember most of the time, and I just kind of get stuck. And I don't know. I am seeking help for this, and I've been seeking help for years for this exact issue, and no one really seems to get it at all, sort of, and I'm getting, like, the impression that nothing is changing, and nothing's going to get better, or whatever, and I'm just kind of, like, stuck, and this is just a fact of life, that it's like this. And that my like sense of reality is totally destroyed, and my cognitive faculties and creativity and everything, like, I don't know, worth anything about myself is gone forever. That it's all becoming like canonical. All of these facts and propositions, canonical to the point where it's like it's reinforced so frequently that the presentation of these facts is it's like impressed into my neurons, so to speak, in a way where their like future impressions aren't really reported anymore. It's like kind of just a part of the background. It's a part of the foundation. It's just part of my normality. You get it? It's not really like a change or anything. There's nothing to report. It's just part of it. And it's difficult. It's very, very difficult because they have the exact same quality of interest, namely no interest, so it's very difficult to perform introspection because everything is if I filter by interest, it's like I get nothing because everything has like this homogeneous no interest because I'm fatigued to everything, Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I I just think that, well, I don't know. I get the impression that you didn't, that you've probably experienced unfortunate circumstances of some sort that led to the development of a psychological state similar to this one, perhaps of a lesser magnitude. Because when I described this previously, it didn't. You seemed to ask clarifying questions. I'm not sure if that was in an effort to continue the conversation, or if if there was some sort of lack of understanding that you were attempting to have resolved. Because I do that too, where I ask questions about things that I'm already like intimately familiar with, in order to continue the conversation. I don't know if I do that as much frequently, but I've done that because now I don't really have the energy to really think about these sorts of things. But I don't know. I'm not sure. It's like, well, I don't know. It just feels like I'm kind of stuck like this. And I'm still receiving treatment, but it's not doing anything. It's just really, really, really bad. It's just really, really bad and low quality and inappropriate. Sort of like it's just not really applicable to what I'm experiencing. It's better than treatment that I've received in the past. I think I like my therapist, but I don't think I'm deriving a ton of insight. And I'm still just really, really worried. I'm really, really worried. Like I realize how dire it's become. So I think I'm doing a lot better than I was like a year ago, a couple years ago. It's still really bad, and I don't know how to progress. And I feel like if I was only lucid again, I'd be able to do so much. I'd be capable of so much more. So much more. Yeah, no, I'm no longer thinking about you. And I don't think it's a good idea for me to think about you. And perhaps I should address a more general audience. And perhaps they may be able to offer commentary. But I've, I've said a lot of this to a lot of people, and nobody's really. Well, some people have, and maybe I don't remember. I don't know. I have the just again this impression of not being totally understood, and not really receiving a ton of insight from these interactions. I don't know. I'm not. Maybe perhaps I should. Well, I don't know because I've already. This is disingenuous. This is a. I mean, you were saying this is disingenuous because I've already considered all of this. This is something that I've already considered. It's like I am speaking to an audience. I'm already captive to an audience. I'm being gazed upon by an audience, and I'm behaving in a way to appease an audience. I'm practicing for an audience. It feels like I'm always practicing. I'm always rehearsing. It feels like I'm never alone. I'm never allowed to feel alone. I'm never allowed privacy. I'm never allowed to feel private. There's always a performance of some sort. The 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 yeah, there's just something wrong. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. And I was hoping that you could help me figure it out. Thank you.